Alright, we're good. Making sure everything's good. Alright. Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Criptids, Monsters, Myths, and Legends. First stream on, well, anything, honestly. We haven't done anything like this before, so this is a first for sure. So we're gonna talk a little bit about a a cryptid that is very infamous at this point. Everyone, well, mostly everyone that knows about cryptids knows him as Mothman. Uh, he got blown up in popularity in Point Pleasant, but that's not where he was first encountered. Um, I'm going to have people joining me, but others I should say, but we're still waiting on them. Um, yeah, that's true. Um, oh yeah, but I didn't want to keep you guys waiting, so I'm gonna start laying down the basics about Mothman. So he was first encountered in Clendenin, West Virginia, on November 12th, 1966. A man working on a grave noticed a brown blur moving across the cemetery trees at a high speed, and he couldn't really get a good look at it. He described it as being brown, humanoid, and little did that guy know that this creature that he had just seen would become one of the most popular, infamous cryptids of all the cryptids, besides Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster, Nessie for short. Hi everyone. Oh yeah, you're the first one. Yeah, yeah, you're the first one here, Blue. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, he would, yeah, but yeah, this guy didn't know that what he had just seen would be seen later on in by other grave diggers. By the way, 5 men who were digging a grave saw him again on November 12th, 1966, same year. So, this was in Point Pleasant. This is where the story of Mothman originated, and the reason he has that name is because of a Batman villain. Not really sure. which one that is. Actually, you know what? I could probably look that up. Stuff Marquita, yeah. Thank you. No problem. Thank you. I appreciate it. Killer Moth? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I can see what. Yeah, so the Batman's enemy, his name is Killer Moth. So I guess that's why they attributed him to that character. But later on, people would go on record saying that he didn't really look like an insect. He kind of resembled an owl, and some of the some of the features of Mothman that they described was him being able to move at 100 miles per hour. He could run on the ground, but when he did, he was like very clumsy with it and stumbled. And he had a he was a 6 to 7 feet tall, and that was like I think one of the more striking things about him was how tall he was and that he could fly. And there was some other weird stuff with him. This guy who was at his farm place, it was like a okay, he was on his farm, and in his house he was watching. This was like late at night. He was watching some show. I don't know what it was, but suddenly he heard a noise in his barn, and his TV set started like going into static and flickering, and this guy getting spooked because um, of what he had heard around West Virginia at that point. He thought, "Oh, okay, someone's definitely out there in the barn. I can hear them making noise and TV sets going off." He went to investigate, and he saw Mothman trying to get into his barn on the roof. Um, which when he saw him, he looked at the guy and kind of just like turned around and flew off after that. But there have been stories of Mothman attacking people, so there's that. There was these, I think it was a group of friends. Know nothing about Mothman. He's violent. Oh yeah, yeah. There's a lot of things that say he's violent, but there like what I was saying right now. There's this group of friends, and they were driving down a. It was like in between like a forest and a field, and one of the driver noticed these pair of eyes that were red right in front of his car on the road. So he stopped in front of it, and it like turned to him because it was staring at the field, and he flew over them so fast, and supposedly he got on top of the car and was trying to get in. I think the driver even said that he saw um, the thing's wings against the door of the car, like the window. I haven't found any cases reported, but there is one thing This is why he's called the Harbinger of Doom. There was a bridge in Point Pleasant. It was called Silver Bridge, and I want to say a year after the first sighting of Mothman, um, there was a like this was like the anniversary of the first sighting of Mothman. The the bridge was completely. Oh my! I have nightmares. No, the bridge was completely. There was a lot of traffic on the bridge because the bridge connected to Point Pleasant and Gallip- Gallipolis, Ohio, and it was just slammed with traffic from one side to the other. The the day before though, on that very bridge, there was an eyewitness that said he had seen Mothman on top of the bridge, um, doing something ferociously. I'm not really sure what, but he said that he thought he saw him unscrewing things, which later on he said he wasn't sure. So I mean that could just be, it could be a lie. But there was another guy that said that he saw Mothman flying over it, landing on it, flying away, but he didn't do anything to the bridge. But anyways, on that on that day, it was really cold, and it was December, and it was 1967. That day, the Silver Bridge connecting those two places, Point Pleasant and Gallipolis, Ohio, um, collapsed. It fell in on itself because one of the supporting things on the very top of it gave out, and right, he screws. Oh my god! But yeah, not he, the bridge collapsed and it killed 46 people and it injured 9 people. And this is the reason why people say Mothman is a harbinger of doom, is because the bridge wasn't built right, in a sense that they didn't think about things in the future. Like, for instance, that bridge was built when cars were 1,000 pounds, or I don't know how much, but basically the cars were lighter back then, and the cars that were driving and that were slammed in on the train on the bridge, they were like 3,000 to 4,000 pounds heavier than the cars that the bridge was originally made for. And the original engineers of that bridge didn't foresee that coming. They didn't take into account of that the bridge would fall because the cars were heavy. So it did give way, and it ended the lives of 46 people and injured 9 people. And it actually led to a national law too of bridge inspections too. So that something like that couldn't happen again in the future. So he told you it was him. I knew. I know it. Trust. It's him, so he can alert people. Probably. And that was the thing too. Like, we'll never know if he was trying to warn them or if he actually did it. And there's actually a museum in West Virginia, in Point Pleasant, of course, where the sightings were popularized. and there's a statue there dedicated to Mothman. And I'm not sure if to this day they still have sightings there, but like I don't know if it's true. Like people say that there are still sightings to this day. Um, some of the skeptics say that it was a type of owl. His nasty ass was spotted on the bridge, so he probably took some screws out. It was, yeah, that's true. That's true. You can't like skip that. You gotta think about that too. But that was one of the other things too. Um, wait, what did I just say? Completely forgot. Oh, uh, that they skeptics think that it was a species of crane that was native to the area. Huh? Hold up, I'll be right back. Oh yeah, but anyways, um, people skeptics, I should say that it was a species of crane that people mistook for a large bird, which they are pretty large. Their wingspan is pretty big. Could make them look really big from a distance or like mid range, especially because in the dark the human mind plays tricks on people, on themselves, I should say, and they'll see things and hear things that didn't happen or that got twisted, and that is true. Like it's happened to me before, and I know that that is a possibility. But some of these sightings of Mothman were seen during the day, and they said that he was taller than them. And I think like back then the average height was like 5'5", 5'7", in in humans. So something bigger than them they would basically be able to tell for sure that something that thing was bigger than them. And oh yeah, there's a life size um, sculpture in the museum itself where you could take photos of you and Mothman. Um, but he looks like a moth, so I don't know. I think Mothman would probably be more like a bird type cryptid. Just makes more sense. Um, the what was I trying to say? There have been sightings of Mothman outside of Pleasant Park, all the way up to I want to say what was it? Was it the I can't remember right now. But in that other place, they call him Owlman, and they have good like um well actually no they don't. The guy that first started reporting Owlman was a cryptozoologist that was known to do some hoaxy type stuff. So you could take that with a grain of salt if you want. There have been other sightings of him. A lot of people say that Mothman makes his home in the empty ammunition sites around Pleasant Park. These sites are like from World War II, somewhere around there, and they're like and ammunition manufacturers. These igloo areas they used to store their TNT and gunpowder in there. I mean, not TNT, just gunpowder. That's what they call that place. It's called the TNT area or something like that. And other than that, for the lore behind Mothman, that's just as far as it goes. I want to say as far as encounters go, there have been a lot of encounters with Mothman. So I'm not really sure if Mothman actually um, if he was just a thing because people were reporting him in the newspaper. They were trying to give life to something that may or may not have existed. Um, but that's for you guys to decide, because it's this crazy world out there. There's plenty of things that happen in the world every day that can't be explained. There's thousands of probabilities, possibilities, and none of them have to follow a certain law, but they do. Like, I don't know. That's up for you guys to decide. Me, personally, I think Mothman might be real, but just as much as I think he might be real, I might think that. I mean, I don't might think. I actually think that most of the what's it called? Most of the sightings of Mothman were just misidentifications of actual creatures that do exist in the natural world for sure. Like, hey, what's up, dude? What's up, Bendover? How's it going, man? But yeah, what was I saying? Hmm. I completely forgot what I was saying. Oh, misidentified creatures. Um, there was this instance where there was an owl. I don't remember. I talked about it earlier, but there was an owl that wasn't native to that area that somehow made its way to West Virginia. It was some kind of snowy owl, something like that. It had snow something missing. Who's your cutie, the Mothman? Oh my god! Didn't Chupacabra? Oh my gosh! You're off the top ropes on a unicorn. But ah, what was I saying again? I'm so bad at remembering things. I get distracted for like 1 second and I completely forget what I was talking. Oh yeah. There was this kind of delay. Yeah. I don't know, 360 no scope delay. I bet you would, man. I know you can actually. But those owls. I mean, that owl had been seen around Pleasant Point for I want to say like maybe I think it was a week, and maybe months. And there was this guy that shot it down. Thanks, man. You're the best. No problem, dude. You're the best. This guy shot it down because he got scared of it. He thought it was Mothman, and it turned out to be an owl. And with their wingspan, owls make themselves look a little bigger. Not on purpose. They do it purposefully, to make themselves look bigger. Which could also be why Mothman looked a little bit bigger. But I mean, that still doesn't. It still doesn't explain why some of the encounters with Mothman will say that he was 6 feet, 6'7", 6'1". I don't know. Ramses #1. He's on fire. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that doesn't explain that. That doesn't explain why um, grave diggers, grave workers. I don't even know what to call them. They saw that guy zooming around trees at 100 miles per hour, like it was nothing. And even they said that he was pretty big. If he was for a bird, if he was a bird, and they didn't really know what to make of him. And the phenomena there was so bad that I think even I think there was a police officer even that had an encounter with Mothman. Oh yeah. See, I didn't know that. That's pretty crazy, actually. But yeah. On the theories of Mothman, some people say that he's just a part of the natural world, a harbinger of doom, so to say. And others say he's a malevolent spirit from ages long past. And then there's others that say that he's a genetic experiment that um, what would you even call him? He's basically a genetic experiment that got loose, and they were never able to capture again. And I'm not really sure about this. There is other cryptids out there that are giant birds, like the thunderbird, and that right there, if that exists, I'm sure there's 6 foot whatever owls out there, because owls are predatory by nature, and I'm not really sure if they would try to eat humans, but I know that owls have attacked humans before. Um, but I think they were like kind of triggered, like pushed in the corner or attacked first. So basically, they were provoked. Now, I don't know if an owl would straight up just attack somebody. Oh, you have? Yeah, I've heard that before too. But he was just made. and he escaped. Um, I'm not really sure if any of that's true. It's possible. I mean, with the stuff they're coming out with now, like, I don't know how old this is already, but there's this thing called CRISPR, and it edits genes. You can edit genes with it, and there's a lot of stuff you could do with it. A lot. And a lot of people are excited about it, and then there's a lot of people that are very afraid of it. Oh, hey, what's up, Junior? How's it going, man? Oops. Okay. Um, oh, I can't remember what I was going to say right now. Hello, comrades. Hey, what's up, dude? The, what was it? Oh my gosh, now I can't remember. What's up, Junior? Marcus equals brain fart. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what I was gonna say right now, but now I think I should just move on. Really? It's cool, you know. It's hard when you read comics. Yeah, yeah. um. Oh, I remember reading somewhere like back then where there was this encounter with Mothman where this lady was jogging and out of nowhere she saw like a black blur in the sky, like to her right, and she couldn't really tell what it was at first, and it seemed to just be in place in that area, just way off in the distance. Oh yeah, yeah, thanks. Appreciate that. Um. Oh, but yeah, it turned out that the black blur that she was seeing in the sky was a Mothman because the next thing she knew, he wasn't just sitting there in the sky; he was actually coming towards her, and he kind of swooped down and grabbed her shirt, which she said that he kind of screeched at her, which was another thing that was kind of like, oh, that's, I don't know how I would react that if that happened to me. You know, I'd probably punch him and then run. If I could reach him, I probably would. Yeah, it screeched, man. She said that it had a its voice was like a mixture of a newborn and a metal. I don't remember what she said. Something metal sliding on the floor, or like fingernails getting run across the fingernails getting rubbed across the chalkboard. That was another thing that she kind of mentioned in that. Hold up, 1 second, you guys. Just a second, yeah, sorry. Oh, okay. Okay, cool. No problem. Yeah, I might have nightmares. I bet his wings made noise. Oh yeah, she said that she actually before he tried to grab her, she said that the gusts of the wind that were coming down on her were like pushing her a little bit. So whatever that was, Mothman or whatever, had a lot of power behind its wings. And just sleep in the day, so it's nightmares. So it's daymares, okay. You know where that word comes from, nightmares? Oh, hey, thanks, Joey. Ah, thanks for that follow, man. Appreciate it. And sorry in advance. My bad, dude. Let me see. Hold up. Okay. All right. Oh really? It's forever to find that chat button. Oh yeah, man. I usually just push like enter or send when I chat in someone's thing. So fuck it. Oh my god. You should say Mecha. Because oh, you know what? It's fine. I'm sure he doesn't mind. Anyways. Um. But yeah, that was one of the many encounters with Mothman. There was a few other ones that were kind of creepy. Like I remember Monster Quest did a whole like special on him, and I mean, sure, it's Monster Quest. It's kind of like um, the models for Mothman looked ugly. Let's just say that. But there was if you want to see some more stuff on Mothman, you can watch that. Just a quick YouTube look up, and you can get a little bit more on him. Um, there was another thing where these two teenagers they were going on a date. It was, but they kind of were like they were by an area that was um there was a World War II igloo there. We're just gonna call them igloos. The igloos were like storage areas for gunpowder. There was a nearby place there, and the boyfriend had stopped there to tease his girlfriend, and he was telling her that I know this sounds so much like the beginning to a scary movie, but they went up to the thing, and the guy shone his headlights at the front of the building, and he was telling his girlfriend, "Let's go inside and let's see if Mothman's in there." And when he said Mothman, he said he saw a pair of red eyes in the building, and he noticed that the door was actually gone, almost like something had forced its way into said igloo. And um, they didn't move for like he said it felt like hours had passed, but it was probably like maybe 2 minutes. And the thing stepped out. It was hunched over, And when it actually got out of that igloo thing, its full height, it basically stood upright. And he said that he saw it, and all he could make out before he took off, because yeah, when he saw that thing, he zoomed off. He just ripped out of that place as soon as possible. He said that he could make out a beak and two red eyes, but that he couldn't really see anything else or remember anything else because it was pitch black and his headlights. I don't know. It feels like he should have seen more. So maybe he was lying, or maybe he saw something else. But that's not where that story ends. As he was driving down the highway to leave, not the highway, the street, whatever you want to call it, to get out, to go home, because they were headed towards a party, because they were going to go to a party after their date or something. I don't know. I don't know what they were going to do. But he said that the thing followed them. It followed them almost to where their house was. And he said it was faster than their car. And at one point, it was even on the side of their car, flying next to them as they drove down. And the guy was going the max speed that you could go at the time with the cars that they had, trying to just get away from this thing. But this thing just kept up with him with the same, if not more speed than what the car had. And this really freaked them out. But when they got to what you could call a town, it was around Point Pleasant, the thing kind of backed off. I feel like it was trying to like get them off of its territory. It was just scaring them, maybe. Because at that point, if something's flying next to your car, and it's not attacking you, either it's making sure that you're leaving, or it's gonna try to attack you. Follow them if that. Oh my god. Reminds me of spaceships and aliens. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Wait, let me finish this before I go on that. They actually did report it to the police, which the police at this time, they were getting sick of told about Mothman. It was legitimately becoming a problem, and I think at one point they actually, or I don't know if that was a recent thing, but I know that there was a Mothman hunting permit that you could buy, or that you can buy. And I don't know if nowadays it's just like, it's one of those things that you get just to have it, or if it's actually real. But the police did believe them, but they didn't want to do anything about it because there was nothing they could really do about it. But yeah, that was the end of that. On to UFOs and stuff. How they couldn't move in fast speeds or flying and chasing cars. Yeah. There is another theory that I forgot to mention earlier. A lot of people think, especially conspiracy theorists, that Mothman and aliens are connected. Um, I don't really buy that one. I can understand why they would see that, because especially if Mothman is like an insect creature, but um, what if he's a stranded alien or a demon because aliens don't exist there? Humans trying to pass off as aliens, can he be killed? I don't know if he can be killed. I know that some guy shot at what he thought was Mothman, and it ended up being an owl. Um, so there was that. Uh, supposedly during that time of heightened interest in Mothman, there were a lot of UFO sightings too, and a lot of people were starting to connect that and think, oh, maybe he's an alien. And I think that actually helped them like piece together, like, well, if he's an alien, he's probably a bug too. And Mothman kind of rings really good. I mean, I gotta admit, Mothman does sound pretty cool, but I don't know. Ever since I've ever seen Mothman, I've always thought of him like as an owl because I don't know if bugs could get that big. They probably can. Let's be honest. They probably could. There's some pretty big bugs. I remember owl come. uh, what was the other thing? Oh, I think it was in there was a church around in Point Pleasant that was abandoned, or it was just a normal building. But I don't remember exactly. I think it was a church, but there had been a lot of Mothman sightings around that area. Which, by the way, the church had its own graveyard too. Yeah, I think it was a church because it had a graveyard, or it was a house next to a graveyard. But when they went to go like, you can kill everything evil, they probably can get the big, oh, that big. Hey guys, doing alright. Thanks for joining me on the stream, Grilled Onions. I appreciate it, man. Holy water, yeah, that'll probably work. I'm sure. That's definitely a good way to test if something's evil. Throw some holy water on it, see if it burns it. I know. Thanks for watching me though, Grilled Onions. I appreciate it. I hope you have fun at work, and that your work is easy. But yeah, back onto the house or church, whatever it is. I don't remember. It's been a while. Um, there was this guy that was like, he was researching into Mothman, and a lot of people were saying that that house had been haunted / cursed, and that Mothman was around there. So he decided to go and look, and he did find some interesting things. He found I don't know what they're called. It's like, you know, when owls like they eat stuff and they can't digest bones. Later zones. But I'll let him know. Okay, thank you, boo. They can't. Owls can't digest bones or hair. Which, fun fact, neither can we. We can't digest um, fingernails or hair. Don't ask me how I know that. I just do. And a lot of digestive tracts can't do that. But carcass bones and no problem. But yeah, this guy found some balls of hair in the basement. I mean, in the top floor of this church, and the window was broken. It was a round window, and there were black feathers and brown feathers all over the floor, on the top floor of that church, and there were bones inside of the wads of hair. So he did do. It's cool. We don't eat that nasty shit. my stomach is still just a baby. Oh my god. But yeah, he did DNA tests on the pellets that were in there. I'm just gonna call them pellets. That's the best thing word I can come up for them. And he found out that the bones and the DNA inside of those hairballs were actually cats and dogs. And one of the samples that were actually in there, the DNA sequence actually was it wasn't a small dog. It was I want to say I can't remember. Was it? I think it was a German Shepherd. I don't remember. But it was like one of those medium sized, like a normal sized dog, and he was disturbed because, to his knowledge, the owls that did make their home there in West Virginia, um, maybe could have eaten cats, but for sure not the type of dog that he had found in that church area. And he was also spooked because he said that the whole time that he was in that area on the top floor, he felt like he was being watched. And at one time, he even said he heard movement on the roof of the church. And Dana Massive. It was a regular sized dog, like not a small one like a Chihuahua. It was pretty big. It was like a, I don't know, but it was a normal sized dog, and whatever had been making its home there had eaten a dog that was big, and a lot of cats, because there were different cats in that house, and there was a lot. There was a lot. One of the things that he was surprised about was that he couldn't find any traces of like a natural animal. Because when he did go to, because he did DNA testing on the feathers too, that were found in that room, they couldn't figure out what it was because everything else in that room had contaminated everything. And they said it was a bird, but they couldn't tell which bird it was. That its DNA didn't match anything, but it also couldn't match anything because it was contaminated with the air, everything else around it, the pellets, uh, the blood, because there was blood in that room too. So it was really hard to determine what species of bird, if it was a bird, it came from. And that was like the natural side of Mothman. There are some paranormal sides to him. There was a lady that said that she could hear him talking to her telepathically. And he threatened her. He threatened her to leave. Then there was other cases of him just straight up hypnotizing people, supposedly. And the next thing they knew, they were in their house, sitting down in their chair. One of the things that bothered me though, when I was younger, that I read on, was this couple had this house near the woods, and they had lights on outside. They were like those lights where if anything goes under them, they light up. They had them all over the house, Junior. They had them all over their house, and because I don't remember what the reason was, but the guy wanted to make sure that nothing big was going on their property, because I think they had chickens at the time. Um, and their kitchen had a giant glass, and this is the worst thing ever. Please, if you ever get a house, don't do this. Don't get doors made out of glass. don't don't try to live the fancy life because you're probably putting yourself in danger. Yeah, the light with sensors. Yeah, one of these nights, the what would you call her? His wife, basically, the guy's wife. She was doing dishes after they had eaten, and they had two kids, an older daughter and a younger son, and everyone was in the living room. And she was doing dishes, and she could see outside by the window because she had another window above her sink. Yeah, like a glass sliding door. Yeah. What did he say he would do to that lady if she didn't leave? He didn't say anything. He just told her to leave, and she left. She didn't even question it. She was like, "Nope," which is smart. Honestly, very smart. But getting back onto that subject, she felt uneasy while she was washing her dishes because she had this feeling of being watched. Which, if you know anything about cryptids, that's another thing that comes up a lot. That's one of the things that comes up a lot, especially for the more dangerous cryptids, because there are dangerous ones that you should not mess with. If you see them, try to get away from them quietly or run away from them if they know you're there. But yeah, she was very smart. Um, she noticed something was in the forest moving. Two red orbs were moving in the forest, and she could see them. They were moving really fast, and they stopped right by where one of her lights were, so that it wouldn't trigger the light, and it just stared at their house. Through the glass doors, it was staring at her in the kitchen. And when she looked at it and moved to look at it closer, it moved out of the forest in front of the light so that the light could turn on. But since its back was facing the light, she couldn't see anything. But she saw how big it was. And she screamed, and the guy came over, the husband came over, and he looked outside and he saw it too. He got scared too. The thing was, she said it was hopping to them, but that it was like moving, like walking to them but hopping. It was a weird, like, walking movement. Oh, F no. And it was moving slowly towards their house, creeping up to their door that was facing outside towards the forest. And they backed up into the living room, but they could still see the door. And it got right up, real close to the glass door, and it was just looking at them. And they couldn't see its eyes anymore, but they could see the silhouette of its body. And it was bigger than the door. It couldn't fit in, even if it tried. But the next thing that honestly made me say, nope, I would never, ever have a door like that because of this reason. The thing started sliding its nails across the glass. Almost like it was trying to test to see how brittle that material was, to see if it could get in. And the guy ended up, I don't remember what he did, Um, I remember he slid something in front of the door, which honestly probably wouldn't have helped them anyways. It was their couch. He straight up pushed their couch into the kitchen in front of the glass door, and he put something else on top of there so that he couldn't see them. It was this. I think it was another piece of furniture that was heavy, not too heavy, but it was heavy. I don't know. It covered up the screen. I mean the glass door, and they could still hear it sliding its nails across the glass, and they even heard like plucks from its finger, like it was tapping on the glass. And the guy didn't know what to do, and his wife was crying at this point, and then it just stopped. Which I don't remember where their. I think their kids were on the second floor. Um, because they had just finished like eating not too long ago, and they were like playing in their room. But the guy thought that the thing had left, and he looked out there to see if there was anything out there, and it was pitch black because the lights went off. And the next thing he heard was his kid screaming, and they both ran up the stairs to go to the second floor, and there he was in the kid's window flying, just hovering there looking at their kids like a tasty snack. So the guy got pissed, and he went into his room because I guess he remembered that he had a gun, and he ended up like by the time he came back it was gone. But since then, for like I think it was like a week, they were terrorized by Mothman. And honestly, I feel for them because that is like, ugh, I would never wish that on anybody. That is the worst thing ever, especially when something's teasing you, taunting you, or it's trying to get into your house. The hopping is like the giant owls we see when we were kids. Oh, oh no, oh god, that's so scary. Okay, there's footage caught on a motion detection trail camera that people believe was Mothman. A couple that caught the footage were apparently camping, and they kept hearing something rustling through the trees, so they set up a cam, see if it was an animal, and they caught a dark humanoid, what appeared to be wings. Ooh, that I would have seen that. I would have been like, all right, camping trip's over. Let's go, guys. But I mess with nothing like that. Mm-mm. Oh no, Joey. Do you have the name of that video? It wasn't a creepy caught on tape video on YouTube. I'll see if I can find it. I love those. Those are so cool to watch sometimes. But some of them I can't watch because they're too scary. I'll like leave the video and like be like, nope, I want to sleep tonight. You could probably kill him with a gun because if you couldn't, you would have stayed tormenting them. Worst part was they slept through it. Okay, thanks. Yeah, that gives me chills. Just thinking about that. They probably could. Like, honestly, he probably is a genetic experiment. Because if he is half man, half owl, he probably has like the killer intent of an owl and the intelligence of a human, which is a terrifying mixture of things to do together. I'm gonna make Marcus a video for it later. Okay. My friend just sneaking through the camp. I know, right? Heck no, man. He was like, "Swiggity swooty, where's your foodie?" Imagine if they would have woke up and all their food was gone. And there was just an IOU from the Mothman. It's just sitting in their bag of food. Sounds like it does. He flew around kids' windows like a yeah yeah. That was another thing. The guy said that he kind of hovered in front of their window, and that was I forgot to tell you guys that later on when they were talking about it, the family was talking about it. The kids said that he was trying to talk to them. He wanted them to open the window so that he could come in. And that's why they screamed because they didn't notice him until he started talking to them. And when they said that to him, when he said that to them, they freaked out because they were like, "Who's talking to me?" And then they looked around and they saw the window, of course, and they saw two red eyes and this big giant black thing. he bought the guy all the funyuns. Oh yeah, yeah. He's like, I'm gonna eat these later. He shoves them into his wings. He's a demon. Need giant fly swatters and bug zappers. I'm not good. That'll probably work, honestly. Which reminds me, that was another thing. There was I think it was a power outage in Pleasant Park that they blamed on the Mothman because there was this guy that said that he was on the wires and that they weren't affecting him, but it looked like he was actually like taking energy from them somehow. Which I don't know how you could describe that, but he said that when he noticed him, Mothman flew off, and when he flew off, there was an electric current still on him as he flew that was connecting him and the wires together. Kind of like if you've ever touched those balls before that have the electricity inside of them. If you put your finger on them, they kind of follow you. That kind of like spark. But imagine that on a wire. But when he flew off, it was still connected to him as he was flying off. So they got far away. And spraying his eyes, up his nose, and his mouth, and open can of whoop ass. Oh my god, he's done now. LMAO Jr. Yeah. Honestly, that stuff could kill us, so I'm sure it could probably kill Mothman. I'm sure. Um, I think that was it for that story. There was other stories of people holding out like full-on conversations with that thing, and he would talk to them cryptically. But again, when it comes to telepathy and stuff like that, I would take that with a grain of salt because you never know if that actually happened until you experience it for yourself, which I've never experienced that for myself. So I kind of have a hard time believing it. But I don't doubt it because, like I said, there's crazy stuff out there. It really is. He was absorbing electricity, but I wonder for what. Why does he need that? You know, that's true. Why does he need electricity? Maybe he was just trying to get energy. Yeah, the puns transcend the other channel too. They're gonna be here too. uh, there was something else too. There was another Mothman that supposedly didn't have wings, but I don't know about that. Only one person saw that one, so I'm not even sure if that's really. Maybe he just had his wings tucked in. You know. He probably smells like burnt wires. So I never experienced that. Yeah. And then a lot of people were saying that he was kind of like there was this alien, supposedly. I don't remember what it was called, but they described it as like a floating thing with like a helmet on its head and like a glowing orb inside. They said that that could have been inspiration for Mothman. Which, if I hold on, let me see if I could find that. Oh, was it that one? Oh yeah, okay, it was this one. It's called the Flatwoods Monster. Um, you could go look that up right now if you want to see how that looks like. It's like a, it's basically like a metallic floating. It looks like an alien with a suit on. If I'm being honest, that's exactly what it looks like. It's an alien with a suit on. They said that might have been what it was. Not, I don't think so. I like alien stories. Exosuit, you say? He's a vigilante mercenary that uses power lines to charge his state-of-the-art moth exosuit. Oh my god. You know what? You never know. Like I said, there's so many weird things out there, especially in that area. The lore in that area and the monsters that you can find in that area, West Virginia. It's a really creepy place for that kind of thing. Good one, Neko. You said, uh, like the no, what's it called? Like the Flatwoods Monster, which now that I remember, there was a scent that was um that came along with the Mothman. A lot of people said that there was a smell of like burnt metal and sulfur, and some people said that there was a smell of like decay and like sulfur, decay and sulfur, or rotten eggs. The sulfur smells like rotten eggs. Mothman is really interesting and mysterious creature, and his sightings will definitely continue. People believe that he actually started terrorizing Chicago. Oh really? Oh wait, yeah, I remember that. I remember something about that. Is um I remember I was watching a video and they were talking about about Mothman, and they were saying that he wasn't just seen in Point Pleasant. That's just where he kind of blew up in popularity. Everyone wanted to get in on the Mothman phenomenon in Point Pleasant, and that supposedly there were sightings as far as the UK, Australia, I think even China, um, where humanoid flying creatures that resembled owls, moths, were being seen, and um, it's kind of like the Yeti, or Bigfoot, or the Yeren, or Sasquatch. Sasquatch is what I call him, or the Yowie. Oh, did I say the Yowie? I probably did. I don't know, but there might be real creatures in this world that are unexplainable, maybe even unnatural, and they could live and have species that are separate from each other, like with the Mothman. Because there is a video, I think it was of of the city. I think that's what Joey's talking about. Where there was this flying humanoid with really skinny arms and legs, and I mean like emaciated arms and legs. Like you can see the bones on this thing, and you couldn't really make out its face because video quality sucks always. That's just a given for anything that has to do with cryptids. I don't know why nobody can afford a high quality camera or pick up their new gen phone that has a good quality camera and start taking videos like something that they see. It just doesn't make sense. I heard about Chicago and Sasquatch watching. To watch. Yeah. Same thing with Bigfoot. There's so many different sightings of that thing. And there's always that fear too. A lot of people that if you watch like videos like this about cryptids, monsters, or myths, they'll always say that before they encounter said creature, there always is a smell, and then there's always a feeling of dread, or like you're being watched. And that right there is your red flag. Get out of there. Don't look for whatever is giving you that feeling, because for all you know, that thing could end your life. And there's worser fates than death. Way worser things than death. If I ever do one of these again, I'll tell you guys about something that is worse than death. Yo, Slenderman. My camera's butt cheeks. Oh man. Okay. That's funny. My camera's not that bad. It actually takes moderate pictures. But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, my camera isn't even that great, and it can take better pictures than what they're showing online. Better video than what they're showing online. And it just doesn't make sense. It's like, we have high def images of planets from light years away from this planet, and the video quality down here on Earth, it's really bad. It looks like a picture that got zoomed in like 10 times. You could barely even make out pixels. Can you make you feel hungry if you look at them? Start praying and pray and get out. Yeah. Oh, you know what, Junior? You just reminded me of something. There's another thing that Mothman was associated with. I don't know if you guys are familiar with sleep paralysis, but there were sightings of Mothman in people's houses where they would wake up and he would just be on top of them, pushing down on them. There was one guy that said that he was literally stealing his breath. Like, it felt like he was pressing him out, trying to like kill him. He fools you on the spot. I think it's fear. There was another guy that said that when he woke up, the reason he woke up was because he heard someone talking to him. And no, it was a chick. She woke up because she thought someone was talking to her. And she thought it was her husband because it sounded like a male voice. And when she woke up, her husband was asleep. And she remembers that her door was cracked open a little bit. Like, you could see out into the hall. And it was pitch black because they slept with their lights off. And she could see two glowing orbs in her hallway, staring at her, and she said it was talking to her in her husband's voice. And when she asked why she was speaking to her in her husband's voice, it told her because that's the voice that he felt she would feel comfortable with. And she told him that she didn't feel comfortable at all. And the next thing she knew, it stopped talking to her and it just went off to the side to where she couldn't see him anymore. And it was gone. She never heard from it again. And oh my god, man. And from then on, she said she could still like get sightings of him for like a while, but the Mothman phenomena died out a while back. But there's still sightings of him here and there, and that's one of the things that make people think that he might have been a genetic experiment, because there were instances of him terrorizing mostly women, and not terrorizing, but he kind of like stalked them. And don't get me wrong, there were a lot of sightings by men too, but most of the sightings were coming from women. And there were some that seemed predatory, and it's just creepy to think about. It's like, why are you targeting women? What's the purpose of that? I hope it's not what I think it is. And ooh, hold on, you guys, hold on. Oh yeah, yeah. So yeah, he was very predatory towards women most of the time. Like sometimes he would target men, but most of the time it was women or children, which was another thing that was kind of scary, because there was a report by parents that stated that their kids were playing on a playground and they could hear rustling in the woods, and the next thing they know, they just saw red eyes in the daytime too, by the way, which I don't know how that happens. And they just stayed. They let their kids keep playing because it didn't come close. But they looked away for. She looked away for a second, and the next thing she knew, she couldn't see the eyes anymore. He was on a. She saw the eyes on another tree, up in the air, closer to them, and that spooked her because she didn't even see it move, and he was in a tree closer to them. So she left. She ended up leaving. He's trying to breathe now. Oh no. I'm a man. Yeah. Uh, but my phone keeps making noise. Yeah, that was another instance of Mothman terrorizing the countryside. Uh, there was another farmer that also had some run-ins with Mothman. Um, I don't really remember it, but I know it had something to do with a tractor. and Mothman flying over him. And that was pretty much it. I think Mothman tried to land on his tractor, but the tractor was moving, so he didn't really have too much success, and he ended up just flying away. But I'm pretty sure that was scary, anyways, for the tractor, the farmer guy. Shapeshifting? I don't know. Maybe that's how you can disappear so fast. Um, there was this one theory where someone said that every cryptid is just a leprechaun, and they're just trying to scare people off their land, turning into monsters, try to scare people away. And I don't know, man. Um, Leprechauns have a lot of wealth, but they are known to be shapeshifters, mischievous. Uh, but I don't know if they would do that. They seem like they would just kind of keep to themselves. But that would be very interesting, honestly. Um, and then that goes along with what I said earlier. So you never know. You never know until you find out for sure that that's a thing. Uh, they're rich. Yeah. And it's kind of funny how nowadays leprechauns are portrayed like these basically just mischievous little trolls. Um, they just mess with people. Because I want to say that the actual origins of leprechauns are kind of dark. Um, I know that leprechauns were known to like steal children. I think maybe, but honestly, a lot of the monsters from back then stole children. That was just kind of like a thing back then. Lucky Charms are wrong. Yeah, I agree with you on that. Um, but yeah, Mothman. Back to that. There there have been sightings of Mothman going into UFOs, but I don't know about that. I mean, already thinking Mothman is real, that's kind of crazy already. But when you throw all that stuff on it, it kind of makes it look dumb. Like, what does Mothman want with a UFO if he could fly? For the paid piper? Oh yeah, 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 yeah. The paid piper was, for those of you that don't know, the original story of it was about this, which the beginning of it is kind of cloudy because some people say that he actually made all these mice rats. It was rats. Was it rats or mice? I think it was rats. That he made all these rats come to this kingdom, and they wreaked havoc within hours. And the king was trying to hire an exterminator or something. I don't remember what. But this guy came out of nowhere, mind you, which is a red flag. And he was like, "Oh, I could get the rats out of your hair. Uh, just give me some money, and I'll take them." So the king agreed, and the paid piper played his flute, whatever instrument he had. I think it was a flute, and he made all the rats like dance behind him, or just follow him in a trance. and the rats were gone. They Everybody was happy. It was a happy ending at that moment. And when the piper came back to collect his money from the king, the king didn't give him anything. He tricked him. So, of course, this made the piper angry. So when the kingdom was celebrating their when they were celebrating that the rats were gone, he came back to the kingdom because all the adults had left their children behind because there was drinking at the festival or whatever. And he started playing his instrument, his flute, and this made the kids follow him in a trance. And he basically kidnapped all the children from that kingdom. And the parents didn't know till they came back. And the children were never seen again, supposedly. But, and here's where the story gets kind of creepy. There was, everyone thought that whole story was fictional. But there was, I don't remember where it was, but there was a little town that some of the residents had the same name. Alright, man. Go ahead. Some of the residents that had lived there before, um, they had the names of the children that went missing, and that whole village had appeared out of nowhere. And for generations, nobody knew what happened to the kids. They did a whole thing on it. If you ever have a chance, you should look it up on YouTube. It's really strange. But they ended up finding out that they might have been the kids that were kidnapped from that kingdom long ago. Which they actually found out what kingdom it was or what village it was. And I don't remember where it was. I don't know why, but my mind keeps telling me Romania. I'm not sure. If I find it, I'll post it in my Discord. So you guys can watch it if you want. But if that is true and that is the descendants, the people that live there are the descendants of the children that got taken from that village, then that means that the piper's instrument is real too. And what was it? Like, that's just my thoughts on it. Like, what was that guy using? And how does it work? Because he got rats to follow him in a single file line, as the story is said, and he led them out of town. So how did he do that? What instrument can do that? And why did it work on children too, and not adults? Okay. And that was just like, that was a legend, the legend of the Pate Piper. A lot of people would say it was a myth too. I don't know. It might have actually happened. So many weird things happen. So many weird things are discovered. Like um, there was this. I don't know. Don't get mad at me because I don't really know what it was. I just heard about it. I saw the pictures of it. There was this story back in the day, way back in the day, where people had vimanas. I think they were called. They were like these giant flying chariots, and for the longest time in that history, people talked about them like they were real. And he probably didn't shoot himself. He probably did. He was probably an alien. Imagine. Imagine him coming up with a name. They're like, "What's your name, Piper?" He's like, "My name is Alien. I mean, Alan. My name's Alan. Yeah. But you can just call me the Piper." And then, what was I saying right now? Oh, they found a weapon that was supposedly used in a war against snake people and that race's deities. And it was kind of crazy when I saw that. But then I thought about it and I was like, it probably could have been like a replica of it. Like people were just trying to make a statue out of what the weapon looked like. I am Alan. I am the Alan. You can call me Alan, but my friends call me Alan. And the the other thing, what was I just saying right now? Oh, the other thing they found was um, it was in a desert. I don't remember what desert it was. It was like close to some other place. Nothing would grow in that desert, and there was corpses on the floor. Of course, they were like decayed, like old bones. And when they tested like the area, they found out that the area was radiated, but it was already like dying out, the radiation. And that whole area, animals wouldn't go. Even if they were led there, they would refuse to go in that area. And the bones had like little signs of decay on them because there is nothing there. They were so radiated that nothing could grow on the bones, like bacteria and stuff. And the only reason the bones were actually deteriorating was because of the sun. Good one, Marcus. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. It was because of the sun and the years of the wind grinding against the bones. So they didn't know what happened to that place, but it seemed to come from like there was like an area that was 10 times more radiated, and they ended up finding out that it was really close to being almost like someone had dropped a nuclear bomb there. But it was thousands of years before people had even invented the bomb, the atom bomb. So they didn't know what to make of it. And honestly, I don't even know what to make of it. I guess like people back then were smarter than us, and they actually somehow made a nuclear bomb. And you know what? Maybe that's why there's so many abandoned areas in the world, and maybe that's why a lot of races like just disappeared out of into thin air, just never to be heard from or heard of again. Hey, what's up, Blue? Welcome back. Yeah, like I've always wondered about that. Like, what if we actually do live in post-apocalyptic Earth? Like, that would be crazy. And what if the only reason we actually know about nuclear bombs is because we discovered technology from back then, and that's how we figured it out? Or maybe something pushed someone in the right direction to actually make it. I don't know. It's just something to think of. We start over. Yeah, yeah. We start over. And fun fact, if you actually like look into it, Aladdin might actually be post-apocalyptic too. Um, if you want, you could look into that too. There's definitely a game theorist video on that. Oh, something thanks. Yeah. So yeah, they discovered all that kind of stuff, and now they're saying that what was it? Was it there's a place in the Sahara Desert called the Eye of the Sahara, I think it's called, and there's a lot of people now that believe that that's where Atlantis is, or at least once was, and that was another thing too, because I guess that area right there used to actually be rainforests and greenery. Now it's a desert. Same thing with Antarctica. I think it's yeah. I think that's what it's called. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. Supposedly that place wasn't always a cold wasteland. It was actually like a lush, blooming rainforest that got turned into a frozen wasteland. um, who knows what's under all that sand? Um, that is true. You know, one of the strange things they found over there were burial mounds that they weren't traditional. The bodies of the people that had died had a boat on top of them, like a small little boat, and I'm not sure what to make of that because why would they put boats on bodies? Like it doesn't even seem like a thing that you would have around if it was like a desert area. Like maybe there was water there once and everyone had boats. So when someone died, they would place their favorite boat on top of that person as a burial. I don't know. I don't know. Um, Also, since I'm talking about areas in the world, I should mention another myth, legend. I don't know what you could call it. There's a there's a there's a theory that the Earth is hollow, and on the inside of the Earth there's a small sun, and inside there's actually more islands. There's other continents inside of the Earth, and I'm not sure about how I feel about that one, but they have a way of explaining things. Like the crust has magma in it somehow, and the further down you go, the more normal it becomes. I don't know. For sure, it was an ocean with islands. Yeah, true. And if you look it up too, like look up if you have a chance, look up the Eye of Sahara. It's this little round area in the Sahara Desert, just in the middle of nowhere. It's like a this round circle thing. You know what? In fact, let me go look at it. I want to see what it looks like again. Yeah, this place literally looks like a giant eye, and it's crazy. It's really crazy when you look at it. Like here, yeah, that's definitely one of the interesting things. There are encounters where people flew over Antarctica and discovered a hole, and they were like pulled into it. And if you wanna look into that, I do recommend it. It's cool. I don't know how. I don't know how credible it is, but it's definitely really cool to think about. Um, Real quick, I'm gonna put it to where you guys can see. There we go. Yeah. Okay. So this is me on Google. So I've got underground facility for those. Oh my gosh. So this right here is the Eye of Sahara, and that's like a side view of it right here. And if you look at it from like the top view, it actually does look like an eyeball. Like it really does. And it's crazy how much it actually looks like an eye. Oh, Junior, you think like me? Well, I just got a phone call and said that Ben Reddy was. Oh, oh, it was you. Okay, I thought that was. I just seen both of your guys' things. I thought that was Junior. That's hilarious. But yeah, that's the Eye of Sahara. Um, See if I can find a better picture of like the whole thing. Yeah, a lot of people were saying that this looks like this could be the the place where Atlantis used to be. Okay, yeah, look, see, it has like a here. Let me grab my mic so you guys can hear me. It has like an eye structure right here. See that? And right here it goes down kind of, and then in the middle is like where the pupil would be. See, and it looks really cool. There's some mountains right here. Oh, is that water or mountains? Oh, that's like straight up water. I'm not sure. This looks like water too, but I don't think it's water. It just looks like this from up in the air. Um, he is above mine. Okay. Yeah, I know. That was the Eye of Sahara. You know what? Since you guys saw Rats Think Alike, yeah, that's true. Since you guys saw that already, let me go ahead and show you the. Uh, let's see. Hold on just a second, you guys. I'm looking for it. No, I can't find it for some reason. But I've seen pictures of it. I just don't know what it's called. Let me try one more thing. Oh, okay. I found it. I had to figure out what the name of it was though. So this is kind of what it looked like, but there's kind of well, its color is blue and water is blue. It's very pretty for a scary hall. Oh my god. Pixel what though? Describe it. Yeah, we do dreams, so do great minds. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Oops. Oh no, I've been discovered. You guys seen my stream? Oh no. So this is kind of this is kind of the no, I don't want that. Stop it. This is kind of what it looked like. This isn't exactly what it looked. It looked more like this, kind of rounded. But this is like one of those super weapons from like back in the day, and I think that's like what they were talking about. Um, not really sure though. Leak. um, a leak. If you take a leak onto a boat, does that mean you're gonna sink? Just wondering. But um, I think that's gonna do it, you guys. I think I'm good for today. This was one of my short streams. Um, but I think I'm good for right now. Corn, popcorn, yeah, yeah, all the popcorn. Thank you guys again for watching this stream. I don't know if we are gonna do this ever again. Um, I might try it a few more times. I had fun, definitely talking to you guys. So I might do it again. Any idea what you're gonna talk about in the next one? We'll wait. Uh, I'm thinking maybe because I left off on talking about Mothman. I left on their worser fates and death. So I think the next one I might cover are Wendigos. I think that's what I'm gonna cover next. Because like I said, there are worser fates than death. Be careful if you go look that up. If you get scared easy, I wouldn't look it up. But what next stream about? Yes, thanks. It's so fun. I just saw your emote close up. It's kind of cool. Shapeshifters. Yeah. Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. Oh yeah, man. Um, I want to try to do the popular cryptids first, and for sure, Wendigos are one of the popular ones. Um, Everybody that knows anything about cryptids knows what a Wendigo is. Not looking it up for sure. It's they're very creepy. But we'll talk about that next time. And thank you guys for watching. Which, by the way, before I leave, do you guys like the way the video looks, the stream looks? Like, you guys got any suggestions for that? Or you guys just think that it looks good? Or okay? It's gonna be fun to research, LOL. Oh yeah. I know so much about Wendigos already. I don't even know if I would have to research them. You like the background? Okay, good. Well, God bless you and all thanks for coming and chatting with me. Oh, Blue. You're so cute. Alright. Yeah. God bless you too, Blue. And thank you for watching. That's good, Marks. Okay, cool. So yeah, that is gonna be it for this. I am gonna do it next Thursday around the same time. Maybe I can get. Yes, the big wolf homie looks bad. That's good. That's good. I wanted him to, at least, kind of. He did such an amazing job and kept me interested. Oh, thank you. Thank you guys. You guys are sweet. But yeah, well, thanks for coming, staying, listening. Um, just remember those little warnings that I told you guys too. That can be applied anywhere. If you smell something awful and you feel something awful, you should probably get out of there. Don't mess with anything awful. I miss grilled onions a lot. Me too. Onion. You crying? No, I'm cutting onions. And then I'm going to grill them. Alright, you guys. Thanks for watching me. Hope you guys have a good night. And once again, thank you, Bakaneko, for following me. I appreciate that, man. Hope to see you on future streams. And I hope you guys all have a good one.